Good morning, everyone. Sorry. Um, Today we are going to sublimate a tumbler, a 20-ounce tumbler. Underneath it is white, inside silver. I've already partially taped it because, number one, my hands are sore today, and so I'm a bit slow at doing things. And number two, I didn't want you to see the design. So, when you sublimate, you are going to sublimate on sublimation paper. You're going to use sublimation ink. And you want to use a printer that is for sublimation purposes only. You also want a heat source. And this is the HTV Ront Sublimation Tumbler. Let me rephrase that. This is the HTV Ront Auto Tumbler Sublimation Machine. Okay? So here we go. We're going to get started taping down the rest of my design. I've already taped around the top, and I'm just going to keep going. And once it's all taped down, we'll get it into the tumbler machine, and we'll see what it turns out like. I'm really excited. It's been a long time since I used this. In fact, I've only used it once. And the one that I did make, my granddaughter loved. Just absolutely adored it. I will see if I can find that video. So the first thing you want to do before you wrap your tumbler is to go ahead and clean it with some rubbing alcohol. And that gets off any oils from your skin or dust from storage and so forth. Then you want to make sure it's wrapped really tight. And for myself, today I used the clamps to get started. I have some heat tape here, which I'm going to get a nice long piece ready for myself. And now I'm going to secure this over nice and tight. There's one, and now two, making sure that they overlap just a little for this design. And then I give it a good piece of tape right down the center to be sure that seam is held down nice and tight. Okay, and then I see I have a spot right there that I want a little bit of tape on. So I am setting my tumbler heat press here to 365 for 40 seconds. Okay, and then I will go ahead and I will do it again for another 40 seconds after rotating it to be sure that my seam is completely pressed. Now some people think over taping. I say over tape. It's better than under taping and ending up with a seam. Now you could do it the way I did on the top, or you can do it this way like I do on the bottom, because the bottom does curve just a little where it would sit, right? So all I'm doing is making sure that all of my seams are as tight as I can possibly get them. Okay, so now we have it preheated to 365, and when using this, please, please, please always use the heat gloves so that you do not burn your hand. So like I said, I'm doing 365 for 40 seconds. Oops, I forgot one important step. Be right back with you. Alrighty, I am back, and the thing that I forgot was I like to wrap this in parchment paper, but I am out. The reason for doing that is because as it heats up, the ink can come through the paper and transfer onto the bed of my heat press. So I have just taped in a cover that will hopefully help prevent any ink from transferring to my heat press. And I'm just going to hit start, and this will close up and the countdown will begin. Now, sublimation takes patience. It's not going to turn out perfect every time, but you will definitely get really nice results if you remember these tips. Number one, sublimation ink, sublimation paper, and a printer that is exclusively for sublimation. I use the ET2760, which is an Epson printer. Now, the other trick, remember to have a heat press. I'm amazed by how many people have tried it with the, what would you call it, like a toaster oven. And some people have success. I was so frustrated doing that I thought I never wanted to do sublimation again. But just bite the bullet, buy the equipment, get it done right the first time. You'll be ever so grateful. Now I am turning this over so that that seam is right at the bottom, and I'm giving it another 40 seconds. It closes pretty tight around my skinny tumbler, but I want to be better safe than sorry. Hopefully I'm not overdoing it and bake it too much. So other things you want to remember: rubbing alcohol to clean the grease off of the cup. Once it's baked on, that's it. It's baked on. There's no getting it off to have a redo, so to speak. If sublimation is not your thing, you can always use vinyl. You can use chalk paste or ink from like places like Amazon or Chalk Couture or whatever. Alrighty, now I'm going to take this out, and it is going to be extremely hot. Be extremely careful. There we go, and we'll drop, and hopefully no burns. And I'm going to turn this off. I want you to see what, there we go. I've unplugged it. I never, ever, did I unplug the wrong thing? Oh no, there it goes. I never, ever leave my machine plugged in. So, if you can see this, you can see the print. That could have gone through and onto the bed of my heat press. See, there's kind of a cream colored bed in there. That is what I did not want to get on my heat press. I like my HTV Rond heat press. It has worked well for me. It is made for tumblers. You can do mugs. However, I've not tried a mug in it. I do have a mug press. What else can I tell you? You kind of want to maybe let this cool down a little bit, okay, before you start pulling it. But for the sake of the video, I will start to pull it away. I know that I've got a half decent print because I can see this through. So let's give this a try and see what happened. Oh yeah, she's hot, even through the gloves. So we're down one piece of tape and working our way around. This is why people don't like over tape, because then they have to get it off. Sorry guys, but I would rather get it off than not have enough tape. The other thing I would suggest is that while a child could pick the design for their tumbler, their mug, their glass beer type or glass stein type of mug, I do not recommend that they be left alone to maneuver with the heat press. It is just too hot, and you know children, mistakes happen when they get excited and they don't think and they stick a hand in there, and the next thing you know, you've got a crisis on your hands. Now I may have just scratched my tumbler. If I did, but I think I did. I hope not. Oh, safe. Safe from disaster. Ah, stop doing that. And I think I overcooked. I think my white has gone to brown. Darn. I did follow the suggested guidelines, but when I saw through to the tumbler, I should have, or to the paper, I should have gone ahead and pulled it, because I have indeed overcooked. And I will show you what I mean. It called for a second round of 40 seconds, but I shouldn't have done that, because I really, really overcooked her. Okay, she's cool enough now. I hate maneuvering with the gloves on. So here we go. That is how she turned out. This looks kind of overcooked to me. See how there is white here, but then it goes kind of dark there. I think I overcooked a little bit. But you know what? I'm still happy with it. I'm still going to use it. I love the way that my seam lines up so nicely. If I have to have a seam, I want it to line up nice. So there we go, guys. This is how she turned out. I know I overbaked. So my suggestion to you to do this project is to do the 365 for 40 seconds and stop. Because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that it closed tight around my press. Like the press managed to close tight around the press that I was doing, and so therefore I didn't need to recook my seam. Alright guys, I'm gonna go and put this in the dishwasher, make sure that it's nice and clean and ready for myself to use, and I will talk with you later. There we go. Bye.